Welcome back. We're still reviewing the Punch. Any other stories?
Okay. The Department of State Service on Thursday grilled members of the Lagos State House of Assembly in connection to a petition which was reportedly written by the former Speaker of the House, Obasa. According to reliable sources, more than half of the lawmakers were interviewed by DSS, although they spent hours there. Although they were they allowed them to leave at some point, and this was based on the claims of Obasa that his removal was not constitutional, and there was abuse of power and financial mismanagement, which was illegal. The source in DSS, who doesn't want to be mentioned, said that after questionings, they were allowed to go because the lawmakers had insisted that they follow the due course of the law, and that the decision was made in accordance with the provisions of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Powers and Privileges Act, which empowers the State Assembly to regulate its internal proceedings without external interference. So the investigations are still on the way. They want to make sure that things were done right, bullying, and that maybe to make sure that there was no abuse of power in the course of the removal.
It was not a likely politically
motivated issue. So let's keep watching.
Okay, I've got no fewer than 5 persons were allegedly killed by some suspected herdsmen on a farm located at Ajegunle-Powerline community. This is in Akure North local government area of Ondo State. So the victims are laborers in the community, and they were said to be working on the farm when assailants struck and shot them. The victims were are said to be natives from Plateau and Kaduna State. So according to an eyewitness, they said this happened Tuesday about 3 p.m., that they were working on the farm, and that usually they would have these herdsmen come in and destroy their crops whenever they grazed. And they've always reported these activities to the police. But on this particular occasion, they specifically described them as Fulani herdsmen. They said they entered the farmlands on Tuesday and started shooting sporadically into the air and killed 5 people during the attack. They have, of course, reached out to the police. This is on the back of many other reports that they have made to the police. So another eyewitness said he saw this while it was happening and he ran away. It was God that saved him. The police PRO have confirmed that this attack happened and they are investigating it, but they cannot confirm the number of people that were killed.
So I have a story here. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and other marketers in the downstream oil sector imported more than 633 million liters of premium motor spirits, known as petrol, and automotive gas oil, that's diesel, in January alone, 2025, despite the production of these commodities domestically. The latest industry data on the importation of PMS and AGO by these firms indicated that they brought in over 458 million liters of petrol and 174 million liters of diesel during the less than 1 month duration. So some dealers said the move was to bridge domestic fuel shortages. Others are arguing that the Dangote refinery could meet the country's refined petroleum products demand. So this is also saying that we've continued to rely on imports even as the country is trying to boost their domestic refining capacity and reduce dependency on imported fuel, which is a factor that's contributing to the devaluation of the naira that we are seeing. So it's also in contrast to earlier publications declaration by marketers to prioritize domestic supply following the inauguration of these 3 refineries that we have. So it's been a back and forth, conversation. Do we buy our domestically refined products? Some people are saying that it's more expensive buying from Dangote than importing into, the country. Others are saying that Dangote fuel has more, has better quality compared to buying from those marketers. So we need to pick and choose. Do we want quality? Do we want quantity? Is there any way Dangote himself can reduce the price for us so that it's easier for these marketers to just buy from him? Yes, we need to keep our money here. Let's move on now to the Daily Sun. Major headline: El-Rufai hits back at federal government. Banks comply with court ruling lifting ex parte Mareva order against GHL. DSS squeezes Lagos lawmakers over Basa's removal. At investment roundtable, Mba woos multinationals. Court to hear NNPCL's objection against Dangote refinery by February 5th. Federal government allays fears over Trump's HIV funding policy. What stories do we have here?
Just take it short and short. GHL, just the rest story is so long. But basically, the banks across board have complied with the ruling of Justice in the Decree of Law of the Federal High Court delivered January 29, 2025, lifting the Mareva injunction placed on the Global Hydrocarbons Limited, its directors and shareholders. And this is following what the first bank who had gone to get this Mareva order, freezing most of their assets pending when a substantive matter will be heard. So as it is now, they are letting you know, can pay into their account, they can pay into their own, they can pay to you. That's all.
The National Agency for the Control of AIDS has allayed fears and concerns of people living with HIV in Nigeria over the recent decision of the U.S. president to hold HIV funding to Nigeria and other developing countries. So NACA says, so this is the DG of NACA, Dr. Temitope Ilori. She said that this decision by the Trump administration has raised significant concerns among stakeholders with regards HIV, AIDS, and TB technical support and funding. But she's encouraging the patient community to continue accessing HIV treatment services in all delivery points across the country. Well, she admits that the U.S. government, through the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, that's PEPFAR, has immensely supported Nigeria's HIV/AIDS response over the years, particularly in sustaining the treatment of people living with HIV in Nigeria. She says PEPFAR remains the biggest donor for treatment program in the country, as their contributions cover approximately 90% of the treatment burden. That is huge. And as you know, Nigeria has the highest number of people living with HIV in West Africa and Central African region. And so she's saying that in spite of this new directive by the Trump administration, patients shouldn't worry. They can still go to their treatment centers and access treatments there. And Nigeria is going to be working domestically to see how we can raise funds, at home, locally.
Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Mba, has assured prospective multinational companies and investors of his administration's commitment to not only create an enabling business environment, but also de-risk investment flow to ensure high returns on investments, for people. He gave the assurance during the second existing Foreign Direct Investors Roundtable at the ASO Presidential Villa in Abuja. He noted that the state had rated multiple projects to bankability. What does that mean? That they've already done the feasibility studies and they have the reports. So what you need to do as an investor is come in, pick up the feasibility reports, and you can take them straight to the bank. They are bankable. He said that a lot can be achieved and there are lots of opportunities within Enugu State. They have agriculture, tourism, manufacturing, mineral resources, logistics, aviation, real estate, and ICT. So he said that they are welcoming investors and people to come invest in the state, and they're doing everything possible for you to get return on your investment.
Okay, our final paper for today, Vanguard. Major headline: NLC mobilizes state councils, allies, affiliates for February 4th protest. FBN Holdings PLC delivers stellar financial performance. Profit increased to 0.9 trillion, up to 142%. That's interesting. A local government autonomy, chairman not yet directed to open accounts, investigation. Diaspora remittances up to 79% to $4 billion in 9M24. That's 2024. That's according to Cardoso. Insecurity, how Asaba became home to Southeast indigenes. Banks comply with court ruling lifting ex parte Mareva over order against GHL. No likely survivors in U.S. plane crash as 30 bodies are pulled from river. A reposition NRC for socioeconomic growth, this of PEPFAR. And 2026 World Cup, what Super Eagles need to qualify. This according to Bako. What stories do we have in the Vanguard? We didn't take Vanguard.
Who took it?
You can't find the story. Okay.
It's too lengthy and then there's no...
Okay,
sign.
I have one here. So no fewer than 15 masked armed men dressed in Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC and thugs posing as policemen invaded a popular hotel in Ago Palace Way, Lagos, and subjected both their customers and visitors to hours of grueling torture and robbery. They said they forcefully removed the giant power generating set inside the hotel to an unknown location. They were armed with sophisticated weapons. They stormed Sea Fortunes Hotel Limited around 4 a.m. That was last weekend. They shot sporadically before breaking into the hotel rooms to dispose lodgers of their valuables. And he said it was gathered that they were frantically asking for the owner of the hotel after they reportedly held everybody present hostage for hours before now breaking into the generating set room and carried it away with the heavy-duty crane they came with. So giving insight into the horrifying experience, the chief executive officer of the hotel, Ngukwa Fortune, said that last Sunday morning, talked about what I just mentioned now, but they said they were suspecting that one of their former staff that they had sacked, who had incurred some debts, they sacked him, and by the time he was gone, they realized that somebody had paid him to supply them diesel, and he did not supply about 3 million. So they dragged him to the police. It was back and forth. So they are suspecting that he's the one now coming back, because they dragged him to court and everything, that he's the one now coming back with all of this, but it's just allegedly, yes, and I hope that the investigations will tell us what exactly happened. That's all we can take on the newspaper reviews. When we come back, we'll take a hot topic for today. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.